PNG Power boss confirms police investigation into Easipay meter system. Post-Courier. August 25, 2025. The theft of over 400 million kina in Easipay revenue at PNG Power Limited is now the subject of a police investigation. This was confirmed by PPL's Chief Executive Officer, Paul Bailey, yesterday. Mr. Bailey informed Post-Courier that police were investigating allegations of theft involving revenue from the Easipay meter system after PPL conducted its own investigations. Mr. Bailey confirmed he was well aware of the issues surrounding the Easipay theft and that the issue was brought to the attention of the office of the CEO. We have investigated. We had a breakthrough recently in understanding how the fraud is taking place. This is now a police matter, Mr. Bailey said. He further stated that PPL have also engaged a forensic ICT specialist to advise on what we can do. This is an ongoing matter. On 17 November 2024, a forensic investigation into Easipay anomalies commenced inside the PNG Power office. Concerns were raised on the Easipay transactions and revenue loss. Issues include discrepancies in third-party vendors, past incidents of internal fraud, incomplete transaction records, and significant revenue losses. Estimated at 68% of transaction, which equates to approximately 408 to 504 million kina annually. A collaborative effort with external experts was undertaken to understand and address these challenges. Police sources have confirmed a 2-year investigation into the alleged theft to eradicate illegal connections and Easipay theft, and they were working closely with PPL head office. Papua New Guinea added more than 19,000 new electricity customers in 2024, driven largely by growth in the Easipay prepaid system. According to the latest figures, PNG Power Ltd. 2024 Annual Performance Report printed in February of this year, 10,865 new Easipay customers were connected last year compared with 8,429 post-paid users. The increase followed the government's 2023 amnesty program, which encouraged households and businesses to regularize illegal connections. Despite this growth, the sector continues to face serious challenges. Data shows total power losses of 408 million kilowatt-hours kWh in 2024, equivalent to 26.8% of all electricity generated. In several months, losses exceeded 30%, with July recording the highest at 43.9 million kW lost, or 34%. According PNG Power Ltd. Annual Performance Report FY 2024.1, total estimated revenue loss, 472 million kina, equivalent to 31% of PPL's annual turnover. Point 2. Unbilled transactions, nearly 4,900 meters went unbilled in December 2024 alone. Point 3. Power theft and meter bypassing accounted for 220 million kina in estimated losses. Point 4. Third-party vendor discrepancies accounted for 152 million kina in missing remittances. Point 5. Internal fraud and manipulation of accounts accounted for 100 million kina in confirmed irregularities. The report confirmed long-held fears that revenue losses were not only technical but also deliberate. Post-Courier understands that the findings have alarmed senior members of the organization. In the report, it has allegedly pointed out evidence of collusion, weak oversight of agents, and gaps in the digital monitoring systems. Easipay, which was designed to protect cash flow, has instead become vulnerable to manipulation. The losses come as PPL continues to struggle financially. The company recorded a net loss before tax of 320.8 million kina in 2024, its third consecutive year of heavy deficits. End. Editor's note. Given this is the case, why did KCH sell MVIL shares to fund PNG Power? Shouldn't they just work on stopping the record 300 million kina plus in losses annually to free up that money instead? PNG Power is a dead horse. You can't keep flogging it to make it run 10 times faster. The dead horse theory is a satirical metaphor that illustrates how some individuals, institutions, or nations handle obvious, unsolvable problems. Instead of accepting reality, they cling to justifying their actions. The core idea is simple. If you realize you're riding a dead horse, the most sensible thing to do is dismount and move on. However, in practice, the opposite often happens. Instead of abandoning the dead horse, people take actions such as buying a new saddle for the horse, improving the horse's diet, despite it being dead, changing the rider instead of addressing the real problem, firing the horse caretaker and hiring someone new, hoping for a different outcome. holding meetings to discuss ways to increase the dead horse's speed, creating committees or task forces to analyze the dead horse problem from every angle. These groups work for months, compile reports, and ultimately conclude the obvious: the horse is dead. Justifying efforts by comparing the horse to other similarly dead horses, concluding that the issue was a lack of training. Proposing training programs for the horse, which means increasing the budget. Redefining the concept of dead to convince themselves the horse still has potential. The lesson: this theory highlights how many people and organizations prefer to deny reality, wasting time, resources, and effort on ineffective solutions instead of acknowledging the problem from the start and making smarter, more effective decisions. 10-point proposal to reform PNG Power. Point 1. Establish a new entity for a fresh start. Create a new corporate entity and transfer PNG Power's viable operations into it. This will allow for a clean slate in accounting, governance, and structure. Retain and move across competent and committed staff, while decisively removing underperformers and entrenched dead wood. Point 2. Review and terminate loss-making agreements. Conduct a full audit of all independent power producer (IPP) agreements. Immediately cancel those that are loss-making or exploitative, while renegotiating others on fairer terms. Implement a hard reset to cut wastage, theft, and fraud across the business. Point 3. Separate and nationalize distribution. Place electricity distribution under direct government responsibility, as it is more akin to infrastructure. Services such as roads, ports, and airports, which are not typically profitable. PNG Power should be relieved of this burden to focus on generation and transmission. Point 4. Decentralize smaller grids to provinces. Devolve ownership and management of small, non-profitable provincial grids to the respective provincial governments. PNG Power's role should be confined to managing the core and strategic grids. Port Moresby, Ramu Highlands, East New Britain, and West New Britain. Point 5. Shield PNG Power from political interference. Transfer oversight of the reformed entity to an independent trust structure, such as PNG Sustainable Development Program. This will depoliticize PNG Power, protect it from short-term political meddling, and effectively privatize its governance without selling it off. Point 6. Address debt and liabilities realistically. The government should assume responsibility for PNG Power's 7 billion kina debt and liabilities, acknowledging that these obligations cannot simply vanish. The state ultimately bears the burden, and formalizing this will allow PNG Power to move forward debt-free. Point 7. Install a competent board and management. Appoint a board and executive team based on merit, integrity, and technical expertise. Leadership must be insulated from political patronage to ensure decisions are driven by long-term sustainability rather than short-term gains. Point 8. Recapitalize after structural reforms. Only once the above structural changes are enacted should recapitalization occur. Injecting new capital before reforms would risk repeating the same cycle of losses. With a leaner, cleaner entity, recapitalization can genuinely reset PNG Power's future. Point 9. Modernize infrastructure and embrace renewables. Develop a long-term investment program focused on upgrading aging infrastructure, reducing technical losses, and diversifying into renewable energy sources such as hydro, solar, and wind. This will improve reliability and align PNG with global energy transitions. Point 10. Strengthen regulation and customer accountability. Reinforce regulatory oversight to ensure transparent tariff setting, fair competition, and service standards. Simultaneously, introduce stricter measures to reduce non-payment and electricity theft, including prepaid systems and community partnerships for enforcement.